Thank you again for giving us your time, and it was a fantastic performance again, like always. So I asked the same question from Daniel last time. So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Iran's name?
When I hear Iran,
Yeah.
I think of people immediately. I'm a humanist, you know. I do realise very deeply that that what we see in the UK, I don't live in the UK, I live in France, but even there, what the image that is projected of Iran is deeply political, and it's not a true reflection of everybody who lives there. And now, like anywhere, there are some incredibly beautiful, peaceful people in Iran who love music and want to just listen to music in a peaceful way and have a good time with music. And I'm a musician, and so that's what really matters to me, you know, that people are at least given the chance to be able to enjoy life and enjoy music the same way that everybody should be allowed to enjoy life and music, you know. It's a basic human right, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
Of course. And everybody knows that you talk about these symbols of love in your songs. When you talk about your mother, when you talk about electricity, about the light, about the cold winter that passed, these are all symbols of the things that happened to you in your life. And these are deeply concerned with your emotions. And I think that's the most important thing that concerns Iranian people with your music and with your band.
Do you think so?
Which it comes from your heart, which it comes deeply with your emotions. And
well, we've led very, very intense lives as children, and growing up and coming out of that, it teaches you so much about life and about how to live and about how you react to negative situations, and it teaches you patience, tolerance, self-knowledge, and it makes you really truly appreciate the good things in life, like love. Like, people are always the best thing of anything in life as far as I'm concerned. Music is my life, music is my huge passion, along with other forms of art. But ultimately, to me, even that's, it's nice to have a legacy and it's nice to leave something behind. But when I'm at my final day, then all I'm going to be thinking about is the people that I've spent my life with.
yes,
And I would like to have them around me, and I would like to share that love. And I think the love you give in your life is just as important as or probably more important than the love you receive. And you have to realise that you have to give love in order. You have to give love in life.
That's a fantastic way of looking at life.
But it's, you know, I mean, it's just natural, really. We come from a city in Liverpool, it's a working class city, where people are very real and honest with each other. You know, a lot of the men in this city don't recognise their emotions very well, because they see emotions like fear or doubt or worry as a sign of weakness, but it's not. It's human, you know. So it took me a while to overcome that, you know. But I'm not that person. I'm the person who comes from generations of men who believed and lived like that. But I say it stops right here with my life. And any child that I bring into this world will not live like my previous. You have to educate your children in the right way, and you have to teach them that honesty is good, and to be honest with yourself is the first thing you should do. And then you can be honest with other people, and you can appreciate it. And especially you can be honest with your children, because if you're honest with your children, they can handle it. You know, they can take it. They're very resilient children. People don't give them enough credit. You know. They can handle it, you know. So just don't hide things from them. Don't make them afraid. Don't make them think and imagine or worry or fear what might be going on. Just tell them life as it is. Tell them what's happening.
That's actually related to what I wanted to ask you about the equality between men and women. That, as you know, because of the government that is on the head of Iran right now, is a little bit scarred.
Well, I would rather not focus on the reasons why equality is not there in the world. I'd rather just focus on the fact that equality needs to be there. It's not even a question to me. It's a human right. It's not even a question about human rights. It shouldn't even be discussed. The very fact that you could be a woman, I wouldn't speak to you any differently. I don't speak to men or women. I don't treat people differently. I don't see them differently. And I see the same with no matter where you're from in the world. You know, you're from Iran. Somebody else will be from Japan or from Africa or from wherever. And I'm not going to treat anybody, or England, and I'm not going to speak to anybody any differently than I already do, because, well, I see the world globally. I from a very early age, have been focused on the earth as a cosmological entity, as opposed to an entity which has subdivisions, you know, and everybody's...
Borders are just there to...
Life is universal. Life is everywhere in the universe. It is. So, that's how I see the world. It's one side, you know. It's a tenuous link between us and the stratosphere and what's beyond. And there's nothing there. You know, like what astronauts who've been to the moon have said? All of them, to a man, have said, it's so fragile, our planet, and being away from our planet and looking at the Earth from the moon was the most profound experience they ever had, because it connected them to that world. It was just home, you know. The whole world, everybody in it was home. And that's the way we should all feel about it.
When you look at it, you don't see any borders.
There are.
All people living in...
It's imagined, but it's reality. We have to live in it. But it's you don't have to live it in your mind.
As
you know,
I'm sure you know that.
You have to get up every day and deal with shit from all kinds of different aspects of your life. People all over the world have that, you know, and it's tough. But there's no need to make it tougher on yourself. You've got to try, at least try, if you can, try to see. If you see the world from a universal perspective, it gives you a perspective on terrestrial activity. You still have to deal with it, but it might give you some peace. It might give you some kind of perspective. I don't know. It gives me some perspective. I don't know. I'm not telling anybody else how to think. That's one thing that I really want you to know, is that I don't want you to think that I have any answers at all. I'm just a human being, you know, like everybody else.
I'm sure that you know this fact too, that you have a lot of fans in Iran, and how they actually idolize you for themselves.
Well, you know, I'm not into the idol worship, you know, like, 'cause it's not real, really. The way I see it is, people connect with our music because it's real, and because it deals with real situations, people who've gone through these emotions and had to deal with it, had no choice but to deal with it. So then, yeah, I guess that people can identify that into their own lives, not just in Iran, but all over the world. People can take somebody in one of our songs. It can be just the word "you" or something, like you're talking to somebody, and either they can think that somebody they know is talking to them, or they can picture that themselves are talking to somebody else. Or if we've written a song about somebody dying, they could think, well, this is about somebody that's left, that's just, maybe it's an end of a relationship or something like this. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can appropriate our lyrics and our songs for yourself and for your life, and you can use them and you can have them
I know a living example of that. I have a friend who have a martyr brother, and the song of One Last Goodbye is what he feels, what he connects himself with his brother after he got martyred in Iran and Iraq. Also.
Yeah, I heard a story about a guy during the Troubles a few years ago who was shot, and his friend found him, and as the guy was lying, he didn't know if he was going to make it or not, but he said, "Will you just please play One Last Goodbye to me on my headphones?" So his friend put his headphones on and played One Last Goodbye to him. The ambulance came and he went off, and he didn't really know how he was after that. I don't think he knew him that well, obviously, he would have found out, you know, but that's a profound feeling for me, you know, that connects with me on so many levels. Like that, I take that seriously, I do.
That's the beauty of your music, because you give your emotions inside the song, and people
but I
to that song.
I take it seriously when people are that connected to our music. You know, like I know how important that is, not only to them and in generally, but also to me. It's very, very important to me, and I'm humbled, utterly humbled by it. And I thank anybody who feels our music in that way.
So my last question, would you love to do a live concert in Iran?
It's a dream of ours. I'd just like anybody to know that it would be fine. First of all, you don't have to worry. First thing, do not worry. It's because this band only has positive intentions. Everything that we do is positive. All of our songs, all of our music, all of our concerts, the way we play, the way we interact with people, everything is positive about this band. So I don't see why not, really. But there is many things that need to happen in order for that to come into place. But yeah, I'd love to. We'd all love to.
This new situation, it would be available. And what do you think of that concert? Like, how do you imagine it?
I would rather not have too many expectations, because I always like to keep a surprise. And I'm sure it will be a surprise anyway, even though if we made so many preparations. And I think that's one of the things, if we do play in Iran, we would have, we would need a year at least of preparation on both sides, just to make sure everything was cool.
I'm sorry, I forgot the new album. I just want to ask some information about the new album that you would like to.
Yeah, well, we've got 2 more concerts left on this tour. Mm-hmm. I'm home for a few days. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to Norway with Danny and John to put together songs, like a kind of songwriting session, if you like. And then just for a few days. Then I'm back home for a couple of weeks, and then we go back to Norway to actually start recording properly. And that's 2nd of December. So it's booked. And we'll keep going up until Christmas, and then we'll finish it off around the end of January, mix it early February. If all goes well, then it will be out in May.
I've heard you will bring some new style to the album.
Yeah, things are expanding. You know, our music always has a central core, and that always is there. But I see our music as an expansion. It is a linear evolution, if you like, but I prefer to see it more like this, because it expands in all sorts of ways, really, the music, as opposed to, you know, we were doing this, now we're doing this. Our music is multi-dimensional. It has lots of different sides and lots of different kinds of styles and things, so I just see it as like one big growing organism that just keeps getting bigger.
A lot of fans were like worried that if the new electric kind of songs are going to introduce into the album.
People don't need to worry. I mean, the emotional core of the music will always be there. That's who we are, you know. But we may expand the instrumentation, you know. So
that's a lot of people to do, actually. And what was your experience about this last concert, the acoustic concert? It was a new thing that you tried, and what was the feeling? It
was a lot better than the last time I played in Istanbul acoustically. Mm-hmm. And I think the the main difference this time is that we're using everything with loopers as well. So Danny's like tapping an actual beat, bass line, a riff, all through the looper, and then expands on that. And then I put like an ambient sound, like almost like a keyboard or an organ, into the mix. So it sounds like a full production, even though it's just two guys with guitars. And then you've got the piano, and you've got three voices. So we fill the room, and there's a lot of atmosphere going on. There's a lot of energy into it. So I think the crowd respond to that. We respond to that. It's important to us to have that kind of energy on stage. You know?
I've been to 4 concerts with you before, and I really like the performance too.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
That ambience when.
Well, of course, you have to change some of the songs as well because they don't all work like with loopers. So you have to reimagine some certain parts, and you have to do things slightly differently, which is always cool. You know.
Okay, I really appreciate your time again, and if you have any message for Iranian people who watch this interview and Feminist Foundation.
Love is all you need, 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 love is all you need.
Thank you, man.